Welcome to another edition of Strategic Moves with Lou. I'm Mike Hendren, a licensed real estate agent here in Wichita Falls, Texas with Strategic Realty. Lou Italis is with me. She's the owner-broker of Strategic Realty here in Wichita Falls. And we've had a whirlwind of a week.
Right.
Actually, we've had a very hot week with no wind.
Yeah, exactly. This has been just super hot.
You remember?
Almost too hot to handle.
Well, we had like 2 solid months of wind where every day the wind is blowing. And then the heat sets in, and now there's no wind. And it's like, you know, we'd take a 40-mile-an-hour breeze right now. We really would. Of course, it'd just feel like a hairdryer in your face, but,
Yeah.
you know, at 105 degrees.
Like breathing. It'd be like somebody's breathing on you.
Well, part of why the power grid is struggling in Texas right now is we've shifted so much of our our power generation to wind energy, and the wind isn't blowing. And wind turbines don't generate electricity without wind. And so I was looking at a chart from ERCOT, you know, that miserable organization that put us through sheer hell 17 months ago during that big winter blast. And the chart, it shows how much power is going to be needed versus how much is being generated. And there's a point somewhere around 3 in the afternoon where our usage is going to outstrip our production capacity. And all I'm thinking is they want everybody to drive an EV, an electric vehicle.
Everybody's going to be plugged in.
Yeah, what if we had 25 or 30 million EVs plugged in around the state right now? What kind of drain would that put on it? Oh my, I can't even begin to imagine. There's been a severe lack of planning with this conversion to wind energy. There's a lot of things that they didn't count on, you know. The wind turbines can't operate in that severe cold. Well, can they operate in the severe heat without wind? Apparently they don't do that either. So here we are. So a lot of people around Texas are kind of wringing their hands and, what's going to happen next? But anyway, it is very hot. That doesn't stop us from doing our jobs as real estate agents.
We still got to show.
Got to show houses, got to do things. I got to doing an open house this weekend, and you know, and it's going to be very hot, but hopefully people will turn out for it.
Well, inside you'll have AC.
Oh yeah. We'll have plenty of air conditioning inside. It's that walk from the car to the house that may be a little stressful. I don't know. We're looking at and they're talking maybe record heat in August for us too. So. Apparently that's kind of setting itself up.
It's already been like 110 degrees out there.
Yeah. Well, it's been hotter. I've lived in Wichita. Born and raised here, educated here, lived here my whole life, raised my family here. I've been here through all kinds of weather. We had the summer of 1980. Just to give you guys that don't live around here kind of the layout. April 1979, we had an F4 tornado. 20% of the town left homeless because of a tornado. We haven't had one like that since then, by the way.
Then there was a flood.
Then there was a major flood, and then we had the worst heat wave, summer of 1980, the worst heat wave we've ever had, where our record high was 117 or 118. We had 100 days above 100 degrees, 100-plus days above 100 degrees, and like 34 days above 110. It was hot.
Does it feel like that's going to be another record for us? Because this last winter, we had a record.
We did.
So it feels like now during the summer, we're going to hit another record.
Yeah, -8 or 9 degrees, whatever that record low was, to 114 or whatever. You know, it's just one extreme to the other. But such is life here in North Texas. Now that has not stopped, you know, the extremes have not stopped people from moving here.
Not
it has
at all.
not stopped people from building homes here. It has not stopped people from relocating here.
Yep.
And we are, I think we are poised to be an increasingly attractive area for people looking to relocate, don't you think?
I think that we're still going to be very affordable.
Yeah.
Compared to the rest of Texas.
Affordable.
And we have everything that you need.
Yeah.
You know, like we've got 3 Walmarts. We've got a decent enough mall. We've got all of the restaurants that you can possibly think.
More restaurants than you can shake a stick at.
You can throw a rock and hit 3 restaurants
easily.
And our local economy is pretty strong. We don't have a very high unemployment record.
No, we're at about right now. We're at about 3.6% unemployment. Now that's coming. That's the all-time high here was about 14%, and that was during the pandemic. We're back down to 3.6. Our all-time low pre-pandemic was 2.9% unemployment. So we're getting back into that area of where the experts will tell you we're pretty much at full employment. Generally somewhere between 3 and 3.5%. Anybody that wants a job has got a job. And
I think that if we continue to grow, though, and right now we don't have any traffic. Traffic is very minimal. We got tons of high schools. We got
two brand new high schools under construction right now.
Yeah.
And they'll be open fall of 24. It's when they're slated to open. And then there's plans. There's plans. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but there are plans, I think, to retool the elementary school situation a little bit, shut down some of the older facilities, replace them with newer but fewer facilities. So fewer but larger and more centrally located elementary facilities, I think, is kind of what the goal is. The old elementary schools, back in the day, you built in the neighborhoods where the houses were. And wherever people lived, the kids went to those neighborhood schools, Well, that's not so much the case anymore. People want options, but they want to be spread out a little more. The town is going to spread out. We're going to see growth to our southwest, our west. There's a little bit of room to the north to grow, going west of the base along the I-44 area. There's a little bit of room to grow there up to about East Road. Well, Bacon Switch, I think, is kind of that's where the city limit stops right now. They could potentially carry the city limits a little bit further out. Now, they can't go much further because then they're up against Cajun Community, which is an incorporated area. So they can't take them in, but they can go up to Cajun Community. And then, going southwest, they could pretty much go to Holiday, all the way up to Holiday. So, or the county line anyway. But
we need a little bit more up there in that area, a little bit more commercial.
We do, and I think there's going to be more. I just talking to some people, it looks like there's, we're already well, first of all of our available factory space, Lou, in town, all of our big is all sold. It's full. There are things going on there, or going to be going on there.
Right.
So that's done. Now, beyond that, they need to develop the business park out on 287, out there near where the FedEx hub is.
Right.
That there is a new business going in there. Land O'Lakes has a subsidiary company that operates here, and they have 7 or 8 small operations that each one employs 10 or 12 or 15 people or whatever. They want to consolidate all of those smaller operations into one larger one here in Wichita Falls.
Oh, that's nice.
And their new facility will be something in the area of 100,000 square feet, and it'll be in the business park. They're going to build out there. So there's infrastructure work going on out there right now for roads, water lines, sewer lines, all that kind of stuff.
I'm thinking more like commercial stuff, like strip malls and
like retail, consumer
stuff, because it doesn't feel like, just with the one mall, it doesn't feel like we have enough department stores, in different locations. Like we could use probably another, not Sam's, but maybe Costco or, another.
Well, there's been a push, for years to get H-E-B to come here.
Another furniture store of some sort.
Yeah. See, and I don't know, frankly, I don't know how, on the retail side, everybody in the retail business, if you sell clothes, you sell shoes, you sell whatever widgets or whatever it is you sell, you're not just competing against the people in your local community anymore, but you're competing against the internet. And I think the internet has hurt a lot of that
is true.
Consumer brick and mortar retail.
That makes it so that you can pretty much live anywhere in the world.
If you got an internet connection, you can own it.
Yeah, exactly. Then you can purchase it. I don't know. I'm more the kind of person, though, that unless I absolutely have to, I prefer to go to a store and look at it, feel it.
See, I do too.
And then decide if I really want to spend my money on it, simply because I've been burnt.
Oh, sure.
You know,
Sure.
I much prefer, although there's certain companies that I'll buy stuff from, like American Eagle. I already know what their fabric feels like, and it feels
Yeah.
awesome. So I'll buy anything of theirs over the internet. But I'm not just going to go buy some random clothes over the internet because I don't, or on Amazon or you know something like that, because I prefer to see it in person.
It's tough because you know, with the internet, there's so much competition. I think that's made it real tough on brick and mortar retail to continue. Now, we did get some very good news this past week. So Dillard's, which is one of the largest anchor tenants that our mall has, announced they were leaving Wichita Falls. Then they were going to stay. Now they're shutting down the mall store again, but they are looking for another standalone location. They want to stay in Wichita Falls. Wichita Falls is a good market for them.
I wonder what they're going to put there instead.
I don't know what they're going to put there instead. I do know there's some new stuff coming to the mall, but it's kind of outside the realm of the typical retail stuff. But
so, and Dillard's would be the only other retail store other than we still have JCPenney.
Still have JCPenney, but Dillard's is a massive footprint over there. They actually have two separate stores in there, you know, and one of them is 2-story. So there's.
So you need to call them up and tell them that you can find them a place.
Yeah, I tried that. They've already got a national firm they're using.
Oh, no.
But that's okay. Yeah, I'm just glad Wichita Falls is going to be able to keep
referral.
them. No kidding. I'm just glad Wichita Falls is going to be able to keep them because to lose a large retailer like that is significant in a city this size. It's significant.
I think I've gone to Dillard's like 3 times.
Yeah, but, you know, according to the Dillard's corporate people, they still do very well here. It's still a good market for them. They're confident enough in the future of their business model here to go ahead and look for a new location. They're not opposed to building one. That's what I'm told, but they'd rather find something that they can just remodel and move into. It's faster, it's easier.
They're not going to be able to find something that's big enough.
That's the problem, is finding that footprint, because there's really nothing available right now.
There's the Lantern House over there off of.
I don't think it's big enough.
You don't think it's almost 10,000 square feet?
Yeah, see, and they're operating with what, 60 or 70 right now, something like that.
Really?
I think so.
How much?
I think so. Well, they've got two. There's two separate Dillard's locations.
You might be right.
Ground floor, and then one of the ground floor locations has a second story above it. And so if they're now, I don't know. Maybe they're looking to shrink down that footprint a little bit. I just don't know if 10,000 or 12,000 square feet would be enough. You know,
if we weren't getting another marketplace over there at the Cash Savers, that would be a good location.
That would be a good location, and I think they want to be where the hub of the traffic is. You know, that Kent Boulevard.
Perfect.
You know, that Kent Boulevard, Caulfield Road, Midwestern Parkway, Southwest Parkway. That area right there is where most of the retail traffic in town lives. It you know, traverses that area in some way or another. You're either going down Caulfield and you're going to Walmart, or you're going to Home Depot, or you're going to Lowe's, or you're going down Midwestern Parkway headed for Jacksboro Highway, or you're going down Southwest Parkway and headed to one of the restaurants. You know, like I said, you can throw a rock and hit 3 restaurants, and you don't even have to ricochet off one of them either to do it. Hit all 3 of them at once. So there's a lot of possibilities, but I think from what I'm told, they want to kind of stay in that area. So kind of where the mall is now, in that region of town.
Nothing there. The only thing that I can think of is maybe if Ollie's were to go out of business.
Maybe what they should do is just buy the whole mall. Just buy the whole mall out, you know, and then they can do what they want to do with it. But anyway, that's a whole other story. But I tell you what, on the housing front, I was reading a story earlier today from CNBC, and they were going through a list of markets around the country that they think are going to cool off significantly. You know, not in terms of temperature, in terms of pricing. We're not on that list. I don't think there was even a city in Texas on the list.
I don't think so.
It's L.A., it's Chicago, it's Cincinnati, it's places like that. You know,
New York, was New York on there?
I'm not sure about New York, but Seattle, I think was. You know, there were a number of cities on the list, but they're all cities where we know the price run-ups were huge within the last couple of years.
And they've had a mass exodus.
They've lost people.
The crime has to do with it.
Oh, well,
That's the one thing that will never really. Well, I say never.
Yeah.
we haven't so far had a problem with crime here. So
and this is the
other
thing.
than just little petty stuff.
Yeah, we've had there've been some and there've been a couple of homicides recently. We're being honest, but I think in
Petty stuff.
this
like
is
they go and they steal things
Yeah.
out of cars and parking lots and stuff like that.
we do not have crime here of the level that you would see in Houston, or that you would see in a Chicago, or that you would see in a New York. We don't have that. Doesn't happen here, and I think three things that really kill it for cities when it comes to people looking for places to live. It's no longer just about the house or the job, but the quality of life there.
Yeah.
The quality of life stuff matters to people now.
And I have to say that the quality of life here is infinitely better than any other place that I've lived. And I've lived in quite a few places. I've lived in South America. I've lived in Okinawa. Well, Okinawa is a place, is a part that doesn't. You can't put Okinawa on the same platform, because Okinawa was definitely awesome.
But a very
but
large
it's very
city.
close. Well, not really. It's an island, and it's only 20 by 4.
Yeah, but very crowded, isn't it?
Not so much.
I would have expected
it's
it
only
would
20
be.
miles long and 4 miles at its widest.
I would have expected Okinawa would have been very, very crowded.
Not so much.
Mm.
I mean,
Okay.
it does have a lot of people there,
Yeah.
but I don't think that there's more than a couple million.
Yeah,
I
you get
don't
in
know,
a
I'd
lot
have
of
to
big
look at the
cities.
population.
Like New York is a great example, and you got people are literally living on top of each other.
Yeah.
Literally. I mean, you've got high-rise apartments, 100 stories tall, and people are literally living on top of one another.
But the crime there is very, like, you can go to the store, leave your car open, leave your keys in your car, and come out, and it's still there.
Okinawa.
Yeah.
Where are they going to go with your car?
That is true.
Oh, that's good.
That's true.
Suddenly, it's a James Bond car and can take to the ocean.
Yeah.
Ooh, no, I don't think so.
Go over the
But,
get on the
yeah.
ferry and go over to go to Tokyo.
Well, there's still a lot of places here in Texas that people will do that. They'll leave their leave the keys in the car, go in the store, leave the car running, not even lock it. No worries about it.
I got one on you though. I got a better one. You can go to the store, take your kid to the front of the store in their car seat or stroller, leave them there, go shopping, and then come back, and they'll watch your kid.
They'll watch your kid for you.
Yeah.
It's like a dream come true, isn't it? Wow.
I never tried that. I was too scared. I was too scared they would steal my little dolly. Because my daughter, she was like this little porcelain doll, little black-haired, blue-eyed girl. I knew that they would probably steal her.
Yeah.
I never attempted to do that. But that's what you could do, because you would see little strollers of babies that were either asleep or in some form of. And they would just sit there, and they had like 2 or 3 attendants that would play with the babies. Yeah. And then you get to go shopping and then come back and pick up your kid.
Now, that's a totally different culture.
Yeah.
That is a totally, totally different culture.
So Wichita Falls isn't quite like that.
No.
But I have yet to feel anywhere in Wichita Falls completely unsafe.
Right.
And I do a lot of traveling. I do a lot of driving into neighborhoods, taking pictures of houses. Actually, the most unsafe I've felt is actually in the country.
Really?
Out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Because, somebody could do anything they want to you, and you would never be able to get anywhere. You'd never be able to warn anybody.
Well, and you're, probably, speaking of the country, we have a lot of people that will call us up and they're looking for a house and acreage. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of stuff out there. There's, we still got a big bit of acreage out there, close to Three-Way Road or somewhere in that area for sale, or am I thinking more 1954?
I think it's 369. We have one listing.
Okay.
Around 369.
Right.
That's about 7 or 8 acres. Yeah. But there's a house on the market right now, or there's actually 2 of them that are over $2 million. Mm-hmm. The Lindman house. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. I so love that house. Mm-hmm. Every time I look at the pictures, I look at it, I'm like, oh.
And this is a beautiful home, and it's got some land with it.
It's got 120 acres or 160 acres.
Can you imagine?
It's just fantastic.
Can you imagine in California or on the East Coast, even for that matter, buying a house and 120 acres of land for $2 million. I mean, there are people.
I think it might be 2.4.
Yeah.
I think it's 2.4 million.
Yeah.
And the house is just like, wow.
And there are people on the West Coast that are paying $2 million for homes that would fit in the living dining area of this house.
Oh, no. Yeah, this is a 6,000 square foot house.
Yeah.
And it's got like one of those circular driveways in the front,
Mm-hmm.
and then a parking lot next to it where you can park your extra
Now, is this the one that has like 5 or 6 car garage or something like that?
And it's got a big, huge garage.
Yeah.
And then it's got a big, huge pool in the backyard. And then it's like on top of a cliff.
Yeah.
So in your backyard is this giant cliff, and all you see is skyline in the back. It's
amazing. It is amazing. And there are...
And for the low price of 2.4.
Call me today and I'll go show it to you. It is a beautiful property. And the thing about it is we have, and we my personal feeling is we're going to have more land available going forward around here.
You say available, but we're not going to get any more land.
No. But I mean, you got property that is
people are going to want to sell.
Families have it, or it's tied up in estates or whatever. And
we actually do have quite a bit of land that's on the market right now.
We do.
Lynn Easter has several thousand acres actually for sale.
See, that's one of the ones I was thinking about.
Yeah, the 500 and something acres.
Yeah.
Well, she just listed another big, huge patch.
Really?
Yeah.
So if you're looking for acreage, this area of Texas has it.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, it's hot. It's stupid hot right now. Look on the bright side, your pipes aren't going to bust this weekend. Okay? But yes, it's hot. But you know what? We have an area of the country of Texas and of the nation really that is very desirable to a lot of people. Not just because of the space available, the land available, the pricing of the houses, but the people itself. Mm-hmm. You know, some of the nicest people you'll ever meet live around here. Mm-hmm. Very hospitable. You know, every once in a while you meet a jerk, but they're few and far between. You know, and they usually ends up being somebody not from here. Just saying. Mm-hmm. But
full disclosure, by the way, I don't have the listing for the Lindman house. That isn't our listing. It's just something that's on the market, and I've been eyeing it for months. But I love it.
But I'll show it to you just the same.
Yes, we can definitely show it to you. But I don't want to. I don't want to be calling me and being like, "Why are you claiming that listing? That ain't my."
It's somebody else's, but I'll take you on a tour. We need this little time to set it up. I bet.
Exactly. You got to set up.
A little different than
beautiful. It has the architecture on the inside. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't mean to like hog our time.
Could you tell she wants this property?
But see, I don't know what I would do with 6,000 square feet all by myself.
You'd be lost.
I know. I would just be living in the little entry area.
You'd be walking around with Google Maps trying to figure out where in the house you are. You know,
and I have
drop
no
a pin
sense
here.
Of direction. Yeah, I'm like the worst agent about sense of direction. I could get lost in my own backyard. So I would definitely get lost in that house. I'd go through some door, and then I would just be totally done.
I just, wherever I landed, I just stop there and take a nap, you know. Well, there's a chair. This looks comfortable. Let's just here do this. So anyway, but we have the market here. I think we're fortunate that yes, home prices have increased here. They certainly did. A home that you would have bought here, what we would call a starter home, I guess, that was $50,000-$60,000 5 years ago. It ain't $50,000 or $60,000 anymore.
No, it's probably about 150.
Yeah, 150
and
to 200.
Our new builds being at 200 is almost like highway robbery. Mm-hmm. $200,000 for a brand new build.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's. A lot of places around the country, that's just unheard of. You can't do a new construction home for $200,000. You can't do one for $300,000. And I know people in the that are in the business, that are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, in the Houston area that I've come to know, that, you know, a new construction home, $350,000-$400,000 ain't much house down there. It's just not. You can get them done, but it ain't a lot of house. You can still get more house for the money here than you can in most places. Cost of living overall is still really great. Can you tell we're campaigning a little bit for people to move here? I mean, really, what our area needs, what we really need is we need to grow our talent pool. And we do that with the 20-something, 30-something, 40-something families moving to our area.
Yeah.
Coming here to live. That's how you grow your talent pool, number one. That's how you grow your tax base, number two. And number three, that's how you ensure that your community is going to thrive going forward.
They're all going to have something invested in the town. They've got children. They've got people in the school system, and you know. And you know
the Wichita Falls ISD's been in the news a lot lately. Some of it's been negative. They've had budget issues, but you know what? They're not going through anything that every other school district in the state hasn't gone through before, or isn't going through right now. It will get figured out. It will, but the school district is, we're building new high schools for the first time in more than 55 years. The last new high school we built, it was either Hershey or Booker T. Washington. I can't remember which one. I think they may have been they're both built in 1963, I think, actually.
Ryder was already built?
Ryder was built in 61, I believe, and Old High was built in 1924, it's been around a long time. Or Wichita Falls High School, it's actually called. Everybody calls it Old High because it's the oldest high school in town.
I know, it's a shame.
But I think Hershey and Booker T may have been built right at about the same time. And then Booker T got shut down a few years later, and Hershey was left as the newer of the high schools, but still built in 63. So what's that actually, 50? Well, 63, almost 60 years. Almost 60 years. So by the time the new high schools open,
it'll have been over 60 years.
All of those more recent facilities will be well beyond 60 years old. And, we're going to have I think it's going to be a very good situation for the city.
We're going to need younger people too. And that's the thing is that, you don't realize what you're doing as far as or how you're living your life, quality of life is until you get into a situation. I think that once you get to your 40s, you start to appreciate.
You do, but when
quality of life more. But the younger generation needs to kind of get there a little bit quicker. Get there quicker because quality of life is very important.
Well, I think people just look at
health. To your own mental health, to your own physical health. That quality of life, that living where you have less stress in your life. And Wichita Falls is that for me, because the bigger cities just make me crazy.
It's a much lower stress environment here, much lower. But we need more homes to sell. We need more listings, that's for sure. We still got buyers out here that are still looking for properties. So if you want to list your home, call me, Mike Hendren, 940-232-3876. You can call the office.
940-689-7900.
There we go. Or go to strategicrealty.net. You can reach out to us on social media. You can call us, whatever.
Coming soon, we are opening up an office in Burke-Burnett.
Yes. Yeah. In the next probably 3-4 months?
Probably less than that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
It'll be probably next month when we open. Cool. And we'll have an grand opening. We'll have a welcome to the neighborhood, a little party before school starts.
All right, cool.
Crystal Brugman and Carolyn Ferris are going to be the agents over there for right now. But I'm excited. It's going to be awesome.
I can nearly throw a rock and hit that building.
Yeah, we're going to have room for more agents. So if you ever decide that you need a space to park yourself.
A place to go drink coffee.
You can go hang out with the ladies.
There you go.
They'll welcome the company.
Well, listen, We appreciate you listening to us and watching us online, the podcast, of course, and listening on the radio on 96.3 FM and 1290 AM. And we'll see you next time with another edition of Strategic Moves with Lou. Until then, take care. We'll see you down the road.